Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy night to join me. I really appreciate it. To all the new subs and viewers, I see you. I really appreciate y'all. This is a channel of which I provide this now only show that's on it, which is me as the host of Vlogs About Nothing. But don't you worry, the future holds many, many, many cool things for all of us. The viewers, our fans, our subscribers, our community. It's just, this is only the beginning, and leave it up to the master procrastinator millennial to sort of get to it when I was able to, which was at the good old ripe age of 36 years old. So I want to talk about two things right now in this video. The first of which is I want to ultimately, and I want to be done with this because I feel like, one, it's not a very popular topic anymore, to be honest, but two, needs to be on the record because I am for being on the record, right? Just because even if minds change and stuff at some point, which oftentimes they don't unless new information is presented to that person and which makes that person ultimately change their mind, and this is how I change my mind and so forth on things that I know that I'm not always right about, and all these things. It's just a part of learning. You can't always assume that you're right. But talking about Joe Biden isn't a popular thing anymore because Joe Biden is in a bad place. You feel me? Like, I just saw our president's um concession speech, as it would be, as he addressed, his dropping out of the race or whatever. But, like, Mr. Biden, I'm going to take something from your speech here, and I think it's real important because I want to highlight the good thing about your speech because you had said that you believed to be it true that Americans are good people. By the way, this almost 12-minute speech, I think it was 11 minutes and 4 seconds, if my memory serves correct, was a good speech. And, if it means anything, as a stranger sitting behind it does, here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to somebody who will probably never ever see this video, you feel me? But, like, Mr. Biden, thanks, man. Seriously, you did a good job. I've thanked you before here on the channel. There's an open letter there for you. But moreover, I agree with you, and I don't think anyone disagrees with you, or they should, or they shouldn't, in terms of being an American citizen or having good, things to say about our country. Americans are good people. And I think that that's lost in translation because of bipartisan politics, modern bipartisan politics, and the inability of modern bipartisan politicians to really acknowledge what Mr. Biden, in fact, acknowledged earlier on this evening, which was, in fact, that it is time for new people to change the way our country needs to be changed so that we can move forward in ensuring our classic, traditional, and contemporary American values as they concern freedom and being good, decent people. So here's the thing, he's absolutely right again. Americans are good people. And I think all people are good people. I think we're all capable of doing wonderful, excellent, immeasurably positive things for not just our environment, but for our families and for ourselves. I really, really think that all that is true of all human beings. We are not self-serving. We are not selfish. We are not evil. We are not anything more than just sentient things trying to get by in a world that is complicated because of corrupt leadership. And oftentimes, corrupt leadership is, the generational conflict amongst just general discussions on over who gets to control what and all this other things. But I think finally we're coming to a point in the modern world where we don't have to really worry about fighting over resources so much as we used to, and that we can in fact take some time to unify, not just here as Americans, but on a global level, worldwide. And ultimately, on the record, that's what I want to see in my lifetime. Obviously, as a 36-year-old millennial, who's still got a lot to offer to this world in terms of being my best self and being a good, community, global stakeholder is that I envision a future of which requires diplomacy and some seriousness when it comes to joint collaboration between many different nations, as it will need to be and as it will require to be here, by the end of this century. But as I'll be, I'm sure, a very old man talking about the introduction of the 22nd century, we're still here in the 21st century, and Americans are good people. I think that Mr. Biden, you did a wonderful job given, the resources that you were given and obviously the circumstances that you found yourself in. But you were right in all of the things you said in your speech. It was a nonpartisan speech. And I really vibe on that. You feel me? It was a gentleman way to go out because obviously you had to go out. And I really feel like it's a good example that you set for your peer group, honestly. I mean, again, it's if anything a favor to yourself and your peer group in that you've now acknowledged publicly that the country needs to change and that the whole point of this country has been change since its inception. We are constantly evolving and we shouldn't just stop now. There's never going to be a one stop shop solution for all of our problems here as American citizens, moreover as our future concerns global citizens. But as we proceed into the future to make this country what it needs to be in order to be its best global citizen, I feel like we still need to stick to some classic traditional values in that the recognition of what this country does for the world should be acknowledged. There are many, many progressive people in this country who work tirelessly to ensure that the world doesn't entirely catch on fire. I can attest to this as a United States multi-generational native-born person because that's what I see. That's what I've lived. That's how I feel. And moreover, that's the evidence that I can provide to you as a result of my feelings in telling you that yeah, I do think that this is the best modern day country on this planet for a number of different reasons. We're not the richest, we're not the poorest, but we definitely have a lot of potential. And I'm done hearing about how America has failed leadership. I'm done hearing about how America has become like this sort of boomer oasis where we only want to take care of the best of us that have everything already, because that's just simply not just not fair because I'm not a 5-year-old child, but it's not okay. And sometimes we need people to tell us what's okay and what's not. And guys, when we live in a world where 2% of the global population owns more than 98% of all of its, more than 98% of the rest of us does, like that's a problem. And it's not a problem that needs to be addressed in that, let's burn the stake and take out, like, none of that, because we should value and we should, appreciate on some kind of a level someone's energy and effort they put forth to make all of the money and, have all the power that they do. But at some point, there must become a point of singularity where we can have an open discussion on how we're going to proceed forward with our country and its politics and its parties and how things must change. So thank you again, Mr. Biden. I really appreciate, from this random stranger acknowledging not partisan politics, but talking about how Americans are good people. Because again, I know that Americans are good people. Americans, I'm talking to you. Be better people. Let's be good people. We know what we're capable of. We absolutely know that our younger generations and that millennials are entirely capable and apt to handle anything that this world is going to throw at us in the next 5 decades or so. And, to all the old people out there who feel like for some reason you're in control because, you have been in control for so long, I feel bad for you because, the version of success that you had even at some point in your generational dynasty was that things change. And, instead of holding progress back, we should be purveyors of pushing thoughts and creativity forward. There is no limit or bounds or potential to what Homo sapiens are capable of doing. Only the limits that we put on ourselves, whether they be socioeconomic or status quo or totalitarian or authoritarian or whatever. You feel me? We are going to have to deal with bigger conceptual problems as the global population gets bigger. But we are also going to have to keep in mind that we are only going to achieve this if we work together. And that's the biggest thing that I took from your speech, Mr. Biden, was that, people got to work together. And the division between, like the dirty politics and so forth, I mean, come on, that's so McCarthy. That's like so McCarthy era. You feel me? Like, it's not time anymore to talk about anything more than the truth and how we can make a meaningful impact moving forward in a country that has what our president just said earlier on this evening, good people. Because I really think that all of us are good people. And I think that we can get through this and we can make the world a better place. But that means stepping up. And that means being the country that we tell everybody we are. We actually got to be that country. You feel me? We got to. And not just for us. Like, come on. Our vision and our quest should be bigger than that. Why just, like, we don't want just freedom and peace and just stability here. I mean, it's nice and it's good, but let's be the examples for the world. Because we can only be as peaceful as the world is. You feel me? And if the world's on fire, like, I would say that we should try to put it out. You know what I mean? Instead of, like, adding fuel to a literal fire. So, given the resources, given the fact that we're moving into the middle of a new century, I would say that again, it is time to change. It is time to move forward with new ideas and to get rid of all of the ideas that have put us in this particular spot that we're in. You feel me? Because this is the last election that this country will ever have when being put in a situation to choose from like the least worst. It cannot continue like this. You know what I mean? And furthermore, I hope that at the end of this year, the Democrats get it together, Kamala Harris isn't on the ticket, and, they win. You feel me? And I will vote as an independent for any other candidate on the Democratic ticket except for Kamala Harris. You know what I mean? And I'm not the only person that feels like that. So how many people of us are going to go vote for an independent Green Party, Libertarian, third-party candidate instead of participating in a unilateral, bipartisan diplomatic system that, is going to get us, it's electoral college, another thing that's got to go, but first we got to change some other policies and then we'll get to the electoral college. I can assure you this, because they are, they're going to have to go too, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. But I hope that you guys have a lovely evening. Thank you again for watching the channel. I really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, if you've made it 13 minutes, take a couple of seconds more, and consider subscribing. It helps out a bunch. Until our next video tomorrow, I hope that you guys have a really wonderful, safe, and happy Thursday night. You feel me? I think it's Thursday. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's Wednesday. So I meant Wednesday. I'm not sure. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.